Autocorrect is a feature that comes with every Microsoft Office product, including Word. You may have encountered autocorrect already when you found that Word would do things automatically and you didn't expect it. For example, if I was to type 1/2 and press the spacebar, it automatically corrects it to a half. And 1/4, when I press the spacebar, will go to a quarter. So autocorrect understands fractions. You may have also noticed when you go the first, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, that autocorrect automatically corrects ordinals. The other thing autocorrect does is certain symbols. When I go colon and an open bracket, I get a happy face. When I go bracket, C, close bracket, I get a copyright symbol. And bracket R bracket, I get a registered symbol. So it actually understands certain symbols as well. And then there's spelling mistakes. If I type TEH, as soon as I press the spacebar, it changes it to the. So it also corrects spelling. And there's a whole lot of things like not putting a capital I or putting the name of a day without a capital M. It will correct those things as well. And a really useful one is if you find you've got the caps lock on and you've got head down and you're typing, don't backspace if you suddenly realize you've got accidental caps lock on. Just keep typing because as soon as you press space, it'll correct it. So I want to show you where this is all coming from and how you can twist it to your advantage. If we go to File and Options, we will find on the left-hand side we have Proofing, and then we have a button Autocorrect Options. Now these are the sorts of things it automatically corrects because they're ticked. If you do 2 initial capitals, it'll change it to 1. If you don't capitalize the first letter of a sentence, it will. And if you don't capitalize the first letter of what you type in a table cell, it will. And it'll also capitalize the name of a day, like Monday. And here's where it corrects accidental use of caps lock. So that's really handy. Now also in this list here, here's bracket C bracket giving you copyright and bracket R bracket giving you registered, and you've even got trademark. You've also got things like happy faces and sad face, and the list goes on. As I start to go down, here are common misspellings. Common misspellings are, for example, not putting an I before E except when there's a C. It will correct these things. Now these are all pre-built in, and these are all very, very common spelling mistakes. What you can do is you can add your own. So for example, I might decide that whenever I type WW, that it's going to automatically replace it with Microsoft Word for Windows. Whenever I place XL, it will replace it with Microsoft Excel for Windows. Whenever I type TGA, I could tell it to replace it with Tauranga. So it's that sort of thing. So I type replace TGA with Tauranga and I add that to my particular autocorrect. And you can add a number of things. So if I then go OK and OK, whenever I type TGA and press the spacebar, I get Tauranga. And whenever I type SS, I get Software Solutions, CB, Cathi Barker, and so on and so forth. So it can be a major time saver if you tell it to replace words that you have difficulty with or words that you use commonly. You can say replace an abbreviation with the full word or phrase. Autocorrect. So we've added an autocorrect option, but what if we want to delete the autocorrect option? The idea then is to go back to File, back to Options, back to Proofing, and back to Autocorrect Options. If I want to get rid of TGA, I simply type it and it brings it to the top of the list, and then I'll simply click the Delete button, and that will delete that particular option. The other thing to be aware of is there is this exceptions button. If we go into exceptions, the idea here is it won't capitalize the first letter of a word after the following abbreviations. Also in here, it won't correct 2 capital letters if it's listed in here like IDs. And other corrections can be added in here as well. So you can tell it don't correct course ID. Don't correct will, and you can delete these as well. So if there are words you don't want it to correct, put them in here. If there are two initial capitals that you don't want it to correct, put it in here. And the same with first letters. Don't capitalize after the following. So be aware of the exceptions. And OK, and OK. Be aware also that anything that you add to autocorrect in Word will carry through to other applications. Autocorrect is a shared function, and so if you add it in Word, you'll also see it becomes available in Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, etc.